Doug Hocking, head coach of the Vancouver Island Raiders, joining me now in a rematch of the Battle of the Island coming up in week number 5 for the Raiders as they will host the Westshore Rebels. And Doug, I know you don't like to look backwards, and I'm sure you'd love to just shelf it and move on from some of the stuff that happened in the last meeting, but we got to go there. We got to talk about it. Yep. The melee, the fracas at the end of the game led to some suspensions and that. What was your take and your view of what happened and what went down late in that game in Westshore?
Well, I can only look at what our guys did, right? And I just got out of a team meeting and we kind of, put that one to bed. And the first thing I told the guys is I've never been more proud of a football team than I am of this team, not buying into that, having each other's back. That solidified this team. I told them today that, there may be a point in this season where we look back at that event in that game and say that's a defining point for this football team this year and how we look out for each other and how it just kind of galvanized what we're about here and how we have each other's back. So as far as, what was going through their minds, I can't explain that, to guests. Frustrated team. There was a lot going on there, with their head coach being suspended, a lot of undisciplined football. And at the end of the day, when you're losing like they were losing, frustrations obviously boiled over, and that's what it led to. But, like I said, Dom, all I can do is speak for my team. And, the suspensions came out and none of our guys were on it. And I couldn't be more proud of them.
Do you think the league got it right with what they handed down for discipline?
I think so. Looking at the film, I think, and like you and I were just talking, this is going to be a different vote. Shane Beatty took care of, 39. I don't even know what his name is, but from what I understand, he was kicked off the team before the suspensions even came down, and I expect that out of Coach Beatty. I think the league got it right. I think there was lots of film, there was lots of footage. You can slow it down, you can see who did what, and absolutely, we're an outlet for these kids to play football. You don't want to ever take a whole season away, right? Unless you have to, right? And unless discipline, that's where it's going, right? Obviously, I think they got it right with 39. And the guys that are serving one-game suspensions, I think that's a wake-up call to, for them and for that football team that can't happen.
You addressed it there briefly. And, looking at it from a Raiders lens, with Charlie resigning from Westshore, and now you mentioned Shane Beatty taking over as the head coach there, how does that change the type of football team that you're preparing for?
Well, we're to prepare for an entirely different football team, and I don't mean that by scheme, and I don't mean that, they've had 2 weeks. I don't know how much they can change their game plan. Obviously, they changed some things defensively. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll try and run some different things offensively. They ran the ball good against us. That's something we need to address, and we'll address that this week. But as far as what Coach Beatty brings, I have a lot of respect for Coach Beatty, and I can go back to all the years that he was in Kelowna. Those were the most intense, those were the most disciplined, accountable football teams. Those kids played hard. They didn't take stupid penalties. That's a Coach Beatty football team. He's had 2 weeks to instill that in that football team. That's what we're expecting. So we'll prepare that way this week. We're preparing for a whole new team as far as their attitude is concerned, and as far as not being selfish. That's what we're looking for, and that's what we'll prepare for Saturday afternoon.
Ben McCauley made a comment to me earlier today, and he wasn't talking about the Raiders, but it stuck with me, and I wanted to put it to you. He said that he was kind of glad that his team's record wasn't better than it is because it would be masking some of their deficiencies, some of the problems they were having. Is that something that, and I'm not saying that's the case with you, but it made me think, hey, the Raiders have a great record, but there have been some bumps in there, the loss to the Huskers, the late comeback needed to beat Langley. Is that something where maybe your record is better than you've played, Doug?
Well, I think I don't know. I mean, you are what your record is. That's what you are, right? So, and honestly, yeah, like, and so we're 3-1. Big deal, right? There's 6 games to go. We're coming into a grind right now, and I explained it to our guys tonight. We're at a point now, and I think we're understanding it that, every game comes down to 1 rep at a time Tuesday night, and then it's 1 rep at a time Wednesday night. And if we don't watch the scoreboard, but we come out Saturdays and we execute at the highest level we can, and we and perform to our ability, the scoreboard will take care of itself. Now, if we go out and we make mistakes and we had an undisciplined week of practice and we, didn't do the right things and didn't prepare the way we're supposed to, then Saturdays don't work out the way we want to. So we are what our record is. We're 3-1. Yeah, we had to come back against Langley, which showed a lot of character with this football team. Yeah, we didn't have a great second half against Chilliwack, which told us a whole other story about this football team. I'll say it again. If this team ever plays 60 minutes of football instead of just a half here or a quarter there, we're going to do a lot of good things. Right now I'm addressing the fact that we come out in the second half and our offense can't put a couple drives together. We kind of have a little bit of a dip offensively coming out of the locker room in the second half. We have to address that. We get the ball in the second half. We got to put first downs together. We got to put points together. We don't usually wake up until the fourth quarter. Then all of a sudden we start moving the ball again. That can't happen. This team needs to play 60 minutes. It needs to play 60 minutes of intense football. We can't start relying on other guys to make plays. We have to take it upon ourselves to make plays.
Doug, I don't think it's fair that we have these talks when you come right out of team meetings, because that sounds exactly like what you probably just would have said to your team about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's exactly what I said about 5 minutes ago, and there's way better words though, Dom. So it's a little bit more colorful for sure. But at the end of the day, this is a group of kids that understand coming out of the bye week that we're always going to do what's best for this football team. We're going to put these guys in a position to make plays. We just have to, when they go out there, they have to make them, right? And we're very clear with the things that we need to work on. We're proud of our record. We're proud of what we've done, but we haven't done anything yet. We also understand that. So, in coming into this week, we have stuff we need to work on tonight. We need to get into some possible tempo. We need to start taking control of football games. And I've always said it, when there's blood in the water, we need to start finishing teams off, right? So, we also feel that, 2 weeks ago in Westshore, there were, opportunities for us to hang 50 points on that scoreboard. We didn't do that. We kind of let them hang around. And that touchdown they got was way too easy. They ran through our defense so easy. 136 or 139 yards that running back. He had an outstanding night. But I can look at the defense and say we didn't cancel our gaps. We gave up running lanes. We had our vision. We were taking wrong steps. There's a lot of stuff that we need to work on, and we'll work on it.
Doug, always illuminating and exciting and interesting, and I really appreciate your candor and your passion with me. It makes for a lot of fun for me to do my job. We could talk for 20 minutes, but I don't know how many people would be left watching. So.
You know what, Dahmer? Anytime, man, you come down here. The fridge is always full, right? So just come on down, and we'll on a Friday night after walkthrough, and we can talk ball anytime.
Yeah, my wife will love that, Doug.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say mine too, right? So,
I'll see you at the park on Saturday. Thanks for your time, Doug.
You got it, brother. Anytime.
Okay.
Later, Dom.
Awesome, man.